Everyone this way. Justin and Jessica to get everyone here. On your left side, guys, on your left side. Police. Justin and Jessica on your left side. Jessica. Right here, Justin. Jessica, to your right.
Yay, awesome. Great. Perfection. Amazing.
Straight ahead.
One more right back here. I got all your
Right up top. David, right up top. Joe, right here.
Where did you look right here?
Top row, right up top.
Listen out.
Right hand.
There you go.
Right next to him up top. Nice now. One more.
Over that shoulder, one's over here. One's right here. Two of you right here, please. One more up top.
That's lovely.
How has your life changed in the last year or so?
My life is exponentially better. Having the opportunity to play again in the NBA, to meeting the President and the First Lady, to speaking on the floor of the United Nations.
It means another step in equality for us and more respect, hopefully, positivity, and love for the community.
I'm excited to come out and support him with my dad, so we're both excited. It's honestly it's such an honor to be here. I mean, I am with a bunch of amazing people, and for them to think of me is just amazing, and I just want to share the love. It's all about respecting each other.
Yeah, and the other thing I was also thinking, tonight we're honoring Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake. And Justin and Jessica have their young son, Silas. Wouldn't it be so fabulous when this little bitty baby toddler grows up to get to be school age? If being gay, lesbian, trans was just like being blonde or brunette or left-handed or right-handed. It was something that made us who we were, but it wasn't anything to be shamed about or bullied about or ostracized for. I think about myself at that young age when I look at some of these kids here tonight, and I'm so goddamn proud that GLSEN provides them a space that they don't have to live in fear and shame like I did, right? Generation by generation by generation, we are making a difference.
It's very important for us. We're super excited to be here to support the Respect Awards. Everyone deserves respect, so.
Honestly, it just means a lot. As a member of the LGBT community, to be surrounded by so many influential people, I have never attended anything like this before, so it's cool now that I'm older to just be a part of it, and I'm excited to hear people speak and just be inspired by everyone in the room.
It's really great, to lend my voice to this great cause. This is the first time that I've been to this event, so I'm excited.
We're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year, and the organization's goal is to create a school where everyone can just be and develop into who they should be.
So I very much try to embody respect for my audience. I try and embody kindness and try and preach that, because I feel like there's such susceptible teens in the world, and I just really want them to know that it's cool to be nice. It's not cool to be mean. It's not cool to be sassy and put other people down.
I would love for the community at large to be a part of the community at large, so that it's no longer even a question that we're Americans and we're same as everybody else. Same problems, same joys, right?
I'm so happy to be here. GLSEN is doing such important work. So many people, whether they're, in the name GLSEN, that S is for straight. It's not just an LGBT issue. The work that GLSEN does everywhere teaches everyone there's nothing wrong with you. Come out, tell the truth, be yourself.
I'm excited that she's here with me because we're best friends, and it's just so great to be representing a community that I feel so strongly about, and it's such an honor to be surrounded by such amazing people.
Yeah, it's great to be out here and to show my support for this community. Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here. It's always a pretty emotional experience. Some of the stories that you'll hear are very powerful. So I've been working with GLSEN for the past few years, and I think it's really an organization that does so much work and so much great work. So I'm excited.
Well, I think it's great that somebody like Zach Quinto's being honored tonight because he is who he is. He's an old friend of mine, and he's about to fall. Yes, he came out, but it's more just he's a great actor. That's it, period. He's a great actor who's really talented, who happens to be in a huge franchise of Star Trek. And so the fact more young people see that, more geeks see that, as we know, geeks rule the world, I think that's going to be a good thing.
Well, what's amazing is that this event and the participation of Hollywood and Los Angeles in the Respect Awards means that this message of respect goes out to the entire world. We are able to reach young people around the world to let them know they are not alone, that there are people willing to stand up and take a stand for them, and that not only GLSEN, but all of the GLSEN family of support you see here tonight wants to help when they're ready to stand up.
It's a constant, I think, a fight every day to make sure we remind people to have respect for everyone. We're all human beings, we're all different, and we need to have tolerance and kindness to each other. So.
I love this event. I love it. And I go through this. It's so interesting because I was just talking to them. Like, it was National Coming Out Day. What was a couple days ago, whatever. And I was with a woman for 6 years. Now I'm with a guy. I still identify as queer. I don't identify as straight. I don't even know if I identify as bisexual. I get very confused by the whole thing. And I'm an adult, and that happens. So to be a kid and to have to get a good grade in social studies and French and try to figure that out and I know what adults are like, going, well, then aren't you bisexual? Well, what? Are you going to be with a woman again? What? Like, I know what that's like, so I can't imagine being a kid. Like, you like what? You want to... And that they can transcend that and make something amazing out of it is, it's delicious. This is what our world is going to be like, and I want to eat it with a spoon.
It's an amazing honor to be here and to listen to the young people who are so courageous and who have been speaking all night tonight.
Yeah, I think we've both sat at our table and we keep looking at each other like, could you possibly be more inspired by these young people? I don't feel like we're getting an award tonight. I feel like we're sort of just happy to be here and be a voice for the continual change that we all want to see.
Yep.
And but these young people, they're the real award. And like Jess said, now that we have a son, to see that maybe someday he will be a person like that. You see these young people. It really is an inspiring evening. Yeah, no, we're both child actors and we feel like failures tonight.
Yeah.
we feel like we've been working since we were young children, and we feel like we haven't done anything now that we've seen.
It's true. It's very true. talking to people and explaining and letting a community that maybe they're unfamiliar with, they get to be familiar with that community. That's what it's about. It's taking the mystery and the fear, away from these people who are incredible people.
I think it's, to add on to what Jess just said so beautifully, I think, when you look at the heritage of humanity, not just America or Europe, or the heritage of humanity, every sort of form of oppression has been because of ignorance and non-education. And so it's exciting to live in these times. We were talking earlier today, that's what I was going to say, we were talking earlier today about the word tolerance. And we were like, we have to get rid of that word. Like acceptance and tolerance, like what are we tolerating? What are we really, what is there a group of people that feel like they're tolerating something?
It's just an archaic idea when you're talking about human beings and, what everyone should be entitled to, which is safety, to learn, to thrive.
Yeah, and individuality.
To grow in your own community, and that's it, period.
We both grew up in small towns, and we were both different in our own way. But again, I think I said it earlier this year, that's something. But you can't make a difference if you're not different.
It's a great honor. I feel really thrilled to be here, and to be honored by an organization that does such amazing work for young people is something that's really extra meaningful to me. I'm really honored to be here. Well, I don't think that you can really talk about respecting one another unless you have respect for yourself. So I feel like the idea of cultivating the notion of self-love in the younger generation is something that's very important in a time when our culture is increasingly chaotic and disconnected and fragmented, and there's an insidiousness to the advancement of technology which allows bullying to take a grip that it just simply wasn't able to take in generations gone by. So I feel like that lesson starts at home, and we need to be responsible to teaching the children and younger people in the world that you have to love yourself before you can truly love someone else. Absolutely, and I think it's a mark of our evolution as a society, and it's something that we need to encourage as a community in any way we can. And it's great that we live in a time when that's possible, and we're fortunate in many ways, and yet there's still so much work to be done. So,
The first time I got to come to the GLSEN Awards was I presented an award to Jeffrey and Marilyn Katzenberg, and I brought Todd with me, my partner, and we were both so floored by the students and when they spoke, and there was no choice at that point for us but to stay involved, because it was something that I had never even thought about before, because I grew up so many years before the people in school right now, and school was very, very different then, and the idea of a GLSEN, a student network in that way when I was in school, wasn't nearly as possible and wouldn't have nearly the force, I don't believe, that it does now. And it makes me so excited for the future. And in fact, that night I presented with a girl who, she and I took the stage together, and she spoke first, and it was the worst setup in the world because she was so much smarter than me. I only left the stage regretful that I hadn't said, "You just met the new Hillary Clinton." I mean, I don't know who this is. The students involved with GLSEN are wise beyond their years and in touch with things that are so crucial and important to our society at a very basic level in a way that I never was at their age, in a way many times that I'm still getting in touch with at my age. And in one way it's just this is the way the world is changing. But in another way, these are people who are very intent on learning things and figuring out things at an early time in their life in a way that a lot of us just weren't. And being here, I've been here every year since, and it's one of the most moving evenings that I ever have in LA. And I'm just thrilled to be here again. Yeah. it is difficult to say sometimes with great specificity what needs to be done to create safe spaces in a world that's safer to grow up in. But in a slightly general sense, exactly what's happening with GLSEN is one of the best ways to combat hostility and to make a safe space, which is start at an early age and create a way in which this is the normal way to grow up.
Well, first of all, I'm honored to present an award to Zachary Quinto, who is an awesome individual. And the organization, GLSEN, does extraordinary work in support of gay, lesbian, straight, transgender, bi students. And I think that the work that they do to prevent bullying and harassment is extraordinary. And I just honor what their work is, and Katie and I are just thrilled to support them.
Trust in my friends, because last year I had actually genuinely no idea what GLSEN was genuinely doing, and I came because of people that I love, Chip Sullivan and Kevin Brockman, and I was gobsmacked. I was so impressed by the young people that were being helped by this organization and what was happening and how they were doing it and what was happening after they did it. And so it became a priority for me, and I truly, genuinely, I said to Kevin at the end, I'm like, sign me up for every year, just let me know when, I'll try and get off work, and I'll be there.
I mean, I just think that anything that supports the youth, especially, there are so many kids that are growing up in similar situations to what I grew up in. I grew up in the Bible Belt of Texas, and I was doing ballet at a very young age and wanted to be involved in theater and things that were a little bit quirky and not easily understood by my peers and family members, and so I support anything that is giving these kids a voice and making them feel like they fit in. I saw these kids dressed in dresses and girls wearing pants and men wearing dresses, and it just made me so happy to see how far our community has come.
So we honor Justin and Jessica as two vocal and committed allies to the LGBT community who are devoted and committed to charitable work that continually improve the lives of youth today. And having known both of them for a long time, and I'm talking way back to NSYNC and Seventh Heaven days, they know. I can say that their generosity and their kindness have always been at the forefront of every single thing they do and how they do it. And of course, as new parents, I can say that their son is one lucky kid for so many reasons, but most of all to be raised by them. So Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake are receiving the GLSEN Inspiration Award tonight for their long-standing commitment to improving the lives of children. And they have long been the vocal supporters of the LGBT community, using their profiles to raise awareness amongst fans and be advocates for positive change.
Jessica and Justin make it possible for students like me to be ourselves, even in my small town in Missouri. Now, I used to see LGBT students getting pushed into lockers and shoved to the floor. So, my sophomore year, I helped to start a GSA that now has more than 60 members.
I just want to say really quickly, growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, I was called all types of names just for being creative. And I remember I ended up on this small television show called the Disney Channel's new MMC. It's before Seventh Heaven. But not as important. And I was 10 years old, and all of a sudden I was around a group of young people that were like me, that were different. This is not part of our speech, but I just felt compelled to say it because it just kind of hit me. We're also big Mars fans, so we felt like, oh, this is yours. We also felt like this was appropriate.
I'm tilting mine to the side.
You're tilting yours. I'll tilt mine to the side, girl. Shit. Take them off. We look like we're in another boy band. These young people here tonight, we're just blown away, the two of us. Thank you so much. As Joe mentioned, and as you may have heard, we are, my beautiful wife and I are a couple of new parents. We're not very good at it yet. So first, we want to say thank you to GLSEN, not just for this meaningful honor we are proud to share, but for a quarter century of inspiring positive change, which means, yes, which means you are right around the same time as the Mickey Mouse Club, but still not as important as Seventh Heaven. I'm kidding, very important.
We want to thank you for leading the way to make our schools more safe, welcoming, and yes, inspiring places for all of our children. Thank you for inviting us here tonight to be part of this amazing event.
And also thank you for allowing Mommy and Daddy to have a rare date night out together.
Oh yeah.
With other adults. Honey, look around. This is what adults look like.
They do exist.
They do exist.
So thank you, GLSEN, so much for all that you do to ensure the individuality of every kid. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender is respected, protected, and treasured in our schools.
Jess and I share this honor with all of you. Every day, all of you are also standing proudly on the right side of history. And even with all the trouble in our world today, this movement clearly is winning and is going to keep on winning. So, we say thank you for starting a trend for change, a change that one day would make it possible for our own son to grow up and thrive in a world where, like my new boss, he's going to be your boss at some point if he's not, Jeffrey Katzenberg, said, where all he has to do is just be himself.
And lastly, to anyone here tonight who may have been bullied or treated unfairly for being who you are.
Raise a hand. Oh, look, we all are the same.
We would like to leave you with a little quote from one of our favorite poets and playwrights, Oscar Wilde. A man who had no problem being his true self, even at a time when there was zero acceptance. And here it goes. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much.
Zachary has been a longtime advocate on behalf of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. Since deciding, yes, Zachary Quinto. Since deciding to come out publicly, his own decision, Zachary has made advancing LGBT equality a priority through personal advocacy and by appearing in plays with proceeds benefiting charitable LGBT causes. He's a kind and generous and funny and thoughtful man, a beautiful soul, a dear friend. To know Zachary Quinto and to see the choices he makes and the way he chooses to live his life is to respect him, is to love him. It is a true honor to present the 2015 GLSEN Champion Respect Award to Mr. Zachary Quinto.
We have triumphed in so many ways recently, but in that triumph we stand on the shoulders of many pioneers and fighters and young people who never had the good fortune to witness the fruits of their labors. It's in the graceful, ghostly light of generations of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Americans who were forced to struggle in silence and fight a fight with no hope of the roars of victory that we are able to shine. to pour into the streets and to scream the cheers of celebration for our equality and our freedom. To them, we all owe an unpayable debt of gratitude, and in the memory of those truer champions than I will ever be, I humbly accept this honor. The idea of accepting and respecting one another is a powerful one, especially in our nation's schools, and especially at such a young age as GLSEN aims to reach with their message. But genuine acceptance and respect for another is virtually impossible unless it is predicated on a fundamental respect of oneself. That, to me, is key in the effort to dismantle the ever-complicated and technologically enhanced issue of bullying, teaching the younger generations that self-love is the most important cornerstone of building a brighter and more sustainable future for our human community, the one, after all, to which all of us belong. May we all continue to work together and evolve towards greater acceptance and truth and love. I think in the end, it is our only collective hope. Thank you so much for this honor. It means the world to me.